In this video, we are going to discuss about Oracle forms. Just I'm explaining you what is a form, how to develop the form, and where we have to develop the form. Is the introduction of the forms, demo session of the form. What is the form? A form is a one front-end application. A form is a one front-end application. So when we are going to develop a form, actually where we require the form. A form is a one front-end application where we require the form means if you want to see the back-end data into the front-end, we require the form. So when we are going to develop, where we have to develop. Actually, a form is a Oracle application database form. So if you want to see the back-end data into the front-end, at that time we are going to develop the form. Through the form, we are going to manipulating the backend data. Actually, a form is a database form. What is a database? So actually, database is a collection of information. Okay, a form is a one part in Oracle. What is Oracle? Oracle is a database package. With help of the Oracle, we are going to store some data. The Oracle is divided into three parts. The first one is SQL, second one is a PL SQL, and third one is a Developer 2000. What is SQL? SQL means Structure Query Language. Using of the SQL, we are going to develop the forms. Using of the SQL, we are going to develop the database. What is the structure of the database? The structure of the database is a table. The structure of the database is a table. The table can contain rows and columns. If you want to store any information in Oracle, at the time we are going to create the table. And you enter the columns and rows data. After that, the data is saved into the backend. The data is saved into the backend. And after create the tables, and you can perform all DML operations. Means you want to insert the new information, or you want to update the existing values, or if you don't want to maintain some rows, you want to delete, you can delete some rows also. Means after creating the database, maybe you can insert the new data, or maybe you can update the existing values, and maybe you can delete the existing values also. That is nothing but a manipulations. After creating the data, you can perform all the manipulations also. How to manipulating the data in SQL means with help of the queries. What is a query? A query is a single line statement. We are going to write a queries. That is the first part. And second part is the PLSQL. PLSQL means Procedural Language Extension to SQL. So here we are going to write the programs. In PLSQL, we are going to write the programs. A program is a set of instructions. We are going to write multiple statements at a time. We are going to write multiple statements at a time. That is nothing but a program. Using of this program, we are going to manipulating the backend database also. This is the second part. And third part is a Developer 2000. It contains two types of applications, front-end applications. One is the form and second one is the report. Now we'll discuss the form. First, what is the form? A form is a one front-end application. Using of the form, we are going to manipulating the database. If you want to develop a form, compulsory minimum we require a one base table and maximum we require more than tables also. With help of the one base table, we are going to develop a one form. The form is located on the backend. The tables are located in the backend. With help of the tables, we are going to develop the form. A form is a front-end application. So how we can develop the form means the Oracle provided one standard tool to developing of the forms. That is nothing but a form builder tool. It is a one standard tool provided by the Oracle. With help of this standard tool, we are going to develop a new form with help of the base tables. Minimum one base table is mandatory and maximum you can use more than tables also. We require minimum one table and maximum we use more than tables also. The main purpose of the form is with help of the form we are going to manipulating the backend database, table database. Okay, so that is the main purpose of the form. Using of this builder, maybe we can develop the new forms or maybe we can customize the standard forms also. Already Oracle maintains a different type of standard forms. So any one standard form is not suitable for the client requirement. At that time we have to go for customization. If you want to customize any standard form, first we need to open the form with help of this form builder tool and then go to making some changes. After changes are completed, again save the form, again recompiling and then go to run the form. Okay, so that is the main purpose of this form builder tool. Just open the form builder tool. Let us see what is the objects into the form. The form's version is 10G. This is the latest version. Okay, when I open that form builder tool, it displays different options. All these are the form options like triggers, alerts, attached libraries, data blocks, canvases, editors, LOVs, object groups, parameters, pop-up menus, program units, property classes, record groups, reports, visual attributes, windows, menus. These are all the different objects in the form builder tool. Out of all, only 3 are the mandatory. If you want to develop any standard form, out of all objects, 3 objects are the mandatory objects. What does the 3 means? The first one is a window, second one is a data block, third one is a canvas. Okay. So these are the 3 objects are the mandatory objects. So window is mandatory. Within the window, the form is loaded. Within the form, the canvas is created. Within the canvas, the data blocks are created. So what is a canvas? Canvas is a one white paper. It's a layout of the form. White paper means we can create n number of the data blocks within the one canvas. The canvas is the background of the form. In one canvas, you can create more than one forms. Okay, so canvas is mandatory. Within the canvas, we'll create a minimum one data block, and maximum you can create more than one data blocks also. Any form you want to develop, minimum we require a one base table, and maximum we use more than tables also. So if you want to use more than tables, so that if you want to if you use more than one tables, and using of the tables, whenever we develop a one form, that form we called as a master detail form. That form we called as a master detail form. At a time we use more than one data blocks. Okay, and in the forms we are going to create some alerts. What does alerts means? It displays the runtime messages. Within the form, we are going to display some runtime messages. And we are going to write some triggers. Actually, in the forms, triggers are the most important. Why? Because whenever we supposed to write a PL SQL program into the forms, at that time we are going to use these triggers. Coding, PL SQL coding. So at the time of developing and customizing the form, we require some coding. How to write the coding means with help of this PL SQL program. With the help of the triggers. Okay, and canvases will create one canvas. Within the one canvas, we can create more than one data blocks. And we'll create some LOVs. What is LOVs means? List of values. List of values. So at a time we can display more than one value on the runtime form. And we'll pass the parameters from one data block to another data block. We'll go to pass the parameters from one data block to another data block. Suppose if you have multiple data blocks, we have to pass the value from one data block to another data block. That is nothing but a parameter passing. Or sometimes we can have more than one form modules also. If you have more than one form modules, we are going to pass the value from one form module to another form module also. This is also nothing but a parameter passing. And program units. What is the program units? The program units are created by the form builder tool. By default, if you want to write your own procedures, your own functions, your own packages into the form, we have to write under the program units. Sometimes users are going to create their own packages, their own procedures, their own functions. So where we have to write means under the program units. And next is a property classes. A property class is nothing but so whenever we create any object, by default system creates some properties. By default the system creates some properties. What is the property specifications? Properties are nothing but specifications. By default, system creates some specifications to object. According our requirement, we are going to changing the specifications. We are going to change the specifications. Okay, and record group. A record group is mandatory for the LOV. So whenever we create a LOV, compulsory one record group is mandatory. And next is the report. Through the forms, we are going to call the reports also. And visual attributes. Suppose this object is mandatory whenever we want to change the font style. So whenever we want to increase the font size, or decrease the font size, or if you want to fill the colors, if you want to change the text color, line color, at that time we are going to set up the visual attributes. And by default one window is created. Within the window the form is created, within the form canvas, within the canvas the data block is created. Okay, these are all the objects we are going to cover one by one with examples. And finally we'll create some menus also. Okay, so if you want to develop a new form, we can develop the new form, or if you want to customize the standard forms. Suppose whenever we develop a new form, after developing with help of the base tables, after developing, then we have to save the form as a FMB format. At the time of saving, just we select the save button. It asking the file name. Enter the file name. By default, take the extension as FMB. FMB is a building file. Okay. After that, go for compilation of the form module. Once the compilation is completed, then the compiler will create one executable file with the same file name, but extensively changed as FMB to FMX. The FMX also created on the same location where FMB is located. FMX is the executable file. The FMX is automatically generated whenever we want to go for the compilation. The compiler will create one executable file with the same file name but extensively changed as FMB to FMX. The FMX is the executable file. FMX is the executable file. Okay. So now we'll get two types of extensions, FMB and FMX. FMB is the building file. FMX is the executable file. After that, you have to go to run the form. So you will get a runtime form. On the runtime form, you can perform all DML operations, data manipulation language operations. Means you can insert the new data, you can update the existing data, or you want to delete the existing data, you can delete it. Whatever manipulation stages you perform, again the values are saved into the backend tables. Okay, so these are the forms. It's a front-end application. It's a window-based application. If you want to develop, we require the database tables. Minimum, we require one database table. Okay, so in the next we'll see all these examples. So we are going to create all these topics with the examples. Okay, this is a demo of the forms.